So now you understand a little bit about what the animus is, which is the masculine aspect within a woman's psychology. What on earth do you do with that? It's enough to say, yes, I understand what these masculine traits are, and probably in consciousness try to learn how to identify them. But then what next? How do you go about integrating these aspects within yourself? I think the most important thing you can do is analyze the animus within yourself through the context of dreams. So let's say, for example, in a dream you have an animus who is your partner in real life of the opposite sex, that is a man, and he appears in your dreams. And in the dream, he is cheating on you or is running away from you. What the stream is trying to say, if I were to interpret it or to analyze it, is that would be your animus. So the man in your dream, your partner, even though it appears as your partner in the dream, it's not necessarily about your partner. It could be some convictions or thoughts that you've been having during the day. And if he's cheating in the dream, it could be a representation of those thoughts personified. You may have been having thoughts in which your partner, spouse, boyfriend was cheating on you during the day. And so as a sort of compensation, because these thoughts were probably unconscious, you were just having a lot of negative thoughts about the relationship dynamic. The dream is essentially trying to show you, first of all, it's not about your partner in the dream. It's an aspect of yourself. He represents your inner masculinity. Your unconscious or your psychology used his image as a reference to represent your own inner masculinity. And it could have a ton of meaning depending on what your association is with your partner. So what the dream is ultimately trying to say is, look, the animus here plays a bit of a trickster role in that it's trying to illustrate to you that these cheating thoughts, these thoughts where your partner might be cheating on you and sort of inflaming your insecurities about the relationship or even about yourself, come from your own inner masculinity. It doesn't actually represent him. It just represents an aspect of yourself. If we take it as the logos principle, you can say that your own intellect is tricking you by cheating on you in the dream. So it's not actually about him in real life. These are your own thoughts that are essentially playing games with you. So it's really important as a woman to understand what your true feelings are about the situation, not the thoughts, but your feelings. So if you love him and if you care for him, that is true, not the thought. The thought comes and goes. The thought could easily be a manifestation of your own insecurities that you're projecting onto him. In addition to that, you could also be projecting your own fears. And that has a possible negative outcome because you could, in essence, self-sabotage. You could sabotage the situation even though there was nothing really there. He could actually just be going and playing games or something, or video games or something in real life. So what does that mean? You've had that dream and now I've told you what the interpretation is. Now what do you do with that? Well, that's great news because then you can say, okay, those thoughts are not real. Those thoughts are not mine. They belong to my inner masculine that's playing tricks on me. Because remember, if you watched any of my previous videos on the animus acts like a jealous lover. He wants to isolate the woman from all relationships, from all men. He doesn't want to share her. He doesn't want to share you. He wants to keep you all to himself, like a jealous lover. Just think of it like that. So what he's going to do in your head, if he's unintegrated, is to isolate you as best as he can by playing these mind games, by playing these tricks with these negative thoughts. And the negative thoughts can go towards a very extreme. So the example that I gave you just now, where if you saw your partner cheating on you in your dream, it can go to a much greater extreme in which he could be abusing you. And maybe it's not just one person, it could be a collective, a group of men abusing you in the dream. And that could represent like a collective thought that is intruding on you, intruding your own feelings, your own psychology. So now what do you do with that is you've now understood that those don't belong to you. They came from outside. It all stems from something outside of yourself that doesn't belong to your true inner feminine feelings, which is what you really have to focus on when you are attacked by these negative thoughts, is what does your true inner feminine feelings say? That's the key. I'm trying to help you discern between what is true and what is not true. Because what happens if you don't recognize this is that you're going to project it onto him. You're going to create problems in the relationship based on your insecurities about the relationship. And again, I'm generalizing here, so this is not for all situations. Maybe he is a bad guy in real life, but for most cases, it usually is a representation of your inner animus figure, particularly if you have that dream, that kind of dream. Once you've learned to distinguish what is not you, and you don't project that onto him and create problems in your relationship, that's the beginning of integration. And you don't have to perceive it as if you were doing it alone. Your partner could just as easily help you in discerning your animus from him by removing the animus projections. So knowing what your own inner masculine image is and knowing what the real person is. Sometimes, not in all cases, but we tend to project our ideal image of our perfect partner onto our actual partner. And for men, it's the anima projection. For women, it's the animus projection. Another common dream that women have is usually there's an authoritative male figure that is very strict and tells the woman what to do in the dream. And that's a really big indication that her own inner masculinity is repressing her own inner true femininity, her own feelings, by maybe reacting to situations too rationally, too very cold. Like, let's say you have a dream about a police officer or possibly a lawyer or something like that, where their profession is dealt with pure rational. If a woman has a dream around that motif, it could represent that her inner masculine is repressing her own inner femininity. And that actually usually stems from the relationship with the father. If the father was very strict, her own inner animus is going to be very strict with her. She might be extremely authoritative with herself, completely pushing down her true inner feminine feelings. And on the opposite end, if her father was absent, if your father was absent from your life, remember that the father is the first masculine figure that you know, and so he imparts an incredible amount of influence onto you. And if he was absent, then her femininity goes into overdrive. She's overly feminine. She doesn't know how to exercise her masculine aspects because there was none imparted to her. Psychology is really a delicate dance, a delicate balance. In Jungian psychology, the animus can be seen as a demon or an angel. It really depends on your relationship with your animus. If you have a healthy relationship with your animus, and that begins first by learning how to discern what your animus is within yourself and retracting all projections that you're placing on your partner or men in general, then your relationship with your animus should also naturally improve. And it could be a chicken or an egg thing where your inner relationship improves your outer relationship, or your outer relationships improve your inner relationships. And it's one of the most difficult things that both men and women have to do with their psychology, but it has the most impact, and it is the necessary road towards the process of individuation. We first integrate our shadow, and then we integrate our anima. Let's say you have a good dream where you see this masculine figure that you've never seen before, and you have some sort of intimate relationship with him in the dream. This one's a bit difficult because it could be that if you take that literally, let's say you're already in a relationship with a man, and then you have this dream where you have this intimate relationship with this other man in your dream, and you wake up and you suddenly lost all feelings for the real man. That's inappropriate, because like I said, the dream is describing to you your inner relationship with your masculinity. So that is a good dream, but it doesn't mean that, I wouldn't call it a prediction of meeting someone else, because you're going to, what happens is the man in your dream is this ideal God. I mean, he doesn't age. He's perfect in every way in the dream. You're never going to find that in real life, because men are humans. We have our fallibilities. We have flaws. We need to take a shit. So if you develop feelings for your inner man and don't realize that that's an inner figure and you project it outwards, it's going to isolate you. And again, that's where the animus can have that trickster function, where it is trying to isolate you from the world. Even though in this dream, I wouldn't necessarily say that that is what it was trying to do, but you have made it such if you project that ideal image onto a real man. Because let's say you meet a man who looks exactly like the image of the man in your dreams. That real man is still a human. He's going to age, he's going to have flaws, he's imperfect in so many ways. The image and the actual man are going to separate eventually. So it's really important to understand that that dream, as powerful as it was, with all the feelings that it gave you, the positive feelings that it gave you, is describing your inner relationship with your masculinity. So then you can say that there's a sort of union of opposites with the feminine consciousness and the unconscious masculinity within yourself. And that's a very positive thing. But the goal is to understand that that is yours. Don't project it outwards. Don't throw that out there. Otherwise, you're going to lose it. You want to keep that. And then it will show you that you're integrated, first of all. You have your inner masculinity supporting you with those feelings of assuredness, of embrace, of foundation. It could also represent your assertive qualities, or a spiritual aspect, which the animus is known to be the connection to the spiritual realm for women. He acts as a sort of, just as the anima acts as a guide for men, the animus acts as a guide for women as well. And he can support her in many ways. And you can actually evoke him when you need to. In times of chaos, he can be your foundation of resilience. He could be your supporting foundation. He can give you assertion when you need it. He can give you the entrepreneurial spirit, the guidance and the support, without possessing you. What usually is happening nowadays, because quite a few women don't understand that they have this inner masculine side, is that they let it completely possess them, to no fault of their own. It's just that they don't know. And men too, we could easily get possessed by our inner femininity, our anima, and you can see that through moods and outbursts. So it's really important to learn how to integrate your anima, and the best way to do that is through dreams, to understand what the dynamic is. If you want to understand what the dynamic is, just look to your dreams. What is the relationship you have with your inner man? So if you see a masculine figure in your dreams, is he attacking you? Is he loving you? Is he too strict? Is he too lenient? Is he lazy? It really depends on what your inner dynamic is with your masculine. If you have a dynamic in your dream and you don't know what it means, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, or you could email me privately, and we can take a look at it and see what that dynamic is and help you discern what to do with that dream. I also developed an application on the App Store where I share all this information with you that you can go ahead and download. And don't forget to like and subscribe too. This is a really difficult topic, so I don't really know how to systemize it, because it's very subjective and everyone has different dreams. But I think what I'm trying to highlight with this video is to illustrate that you can identify the dynamics of your animus relationship through dreams, and through dreams, that is where you can know you're pointed in the right direction and know where to fix the problems that arise with your animus, if there are any problems, or if your relationship is good with your animus, how can you further improve that so that you can reach enlightenment or individuation and come to full self-realization. And it's very empowering when you do these things because it gives you the reins of control back into your life. Possession is something that takes over you. Your unconscious is taking over you because it is being repressed. It's being unacknowledged. How you treat your unconscious is how your unconscious will treat you. So if you are afraid of it, it's going to treat you in that way. If you love it, it's going to treat you in that way as well. So for all of us, men and women, it's very important to learn how to understand our own psychology and love those different aspects within ourselves. Because, I mean, Jesus was right. Love is the answer. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.